Most weight loss plans are one size fits all, not taking into account each person's individual needs. Noom is here to change that. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain. But it also takes into account your unique biological factors, which also affect weight loss success. The program helps you understand the science behind your eating choices and why you have cravings. Everyone's journey is different, so your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. One of the great things about Noom is that it's nourishing instead of restrictive. They focus on progress instead of perfection. You don't have to give up carbs or anything for that matter. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. To date, Noom has helped more than 5.2 million people lose weight. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Gabrielle. Welcome to a brand new episode of Hot Topics. I am keeping an eye on my Wi Fi right now. I'll cross my fingers. All right. Let me tell you what this show is about. This is a reminder if you are familiar with the show and if you are new to the show, welcome. So let me just remind you what this show is about. So this is Hot Topics. There's a part of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. That's our company. And what we like to do, we like to have real talk. We like to have real talk about real things. We like to focus in education. We like to talk about health, employment. We like to talk about homeschooling. What else? Disabilities, self-care, a lot of that mushy stuff. But we like to have that real talk, period. And I am excited about today because I have a returning guest. I love it when the guests come back to the hot seat. Let me tell you who that guest is. That guest is Takira Robinson, and she is back for part 2 of her journey. So I look forward to having more of a discussion about her life journey. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, let me tell you. So we are going to answer the question, what more can happen to me? Right? Have you ever felt so overwhelmed with trials and tribulations, and it's you felt like it's like one thing after another, like things just keep happening to you and you don't understand why, and you just ask yourself, what more can happen to me? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. And my guest is going to help me with that conversation. So, what more can happen to me? That is the topic of today. And let me remind you about my guest, Takira Robinson. And let me tell you, she is an educator, a parent, and an astrology enthusiast. And her love of education began as a child and continues now in many ways, from spirituality, finances, parenting, and common life skills. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to bring her to the stage. Hi, Takira, how you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How's your Wi-Fi, Gabrielle?
It's so far holding. I'm keeping an eye on it. So, hopefully everything stays intact. All right, so welcome back to Hot Topics.
Thank
So,
you.
you have a lot in your life and you went through a lot, and we're going to talk more about that. So, what more can happen to me? So, let's jump right into it. So, when you hear that question, what comes to mind?
Oh, when I hear that question, what more can happen to me? It sounds like I'm ready. It sounds like I'm ready for whatever life throws at me because I know life, as I look over this last year of my life, I've had plenty of downs. I've had lots of traumatic things happen to me. Some things that are first that have never happened to me before. And it's just a preparation for my next level mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It's an upgrade. That's how I look at it now.
So let's dive into that more. So from from the last time we talked, we talked about um, your family upbringing, right? I think your mom was
Mhm,
she was a drug addict. Your father wasn't really around. You were moving around a lot because things kept changing, and your parents weren't really nurturing in the way that a child needs, right? And I think your mom went to prison at some point, and
mhm.
you had to stay with your grandmother and your aunt, so you definitely moved around, and then you got pregnant at 18. So, and
Mhm.
then your mom kicked you out. So, and you had to live with uh, the baby's father's mom, I believe.
Yep.
So you went through a lot of roller coasters, and you went through a lot all before 18 years old, um, and now you have this baby at 18. So let's pick up from there, right? So you're 18 years old, you have this baby. What's going through your mind right now? What's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind is I'm gonna have a baby. I'm gonna be a mom soon. And I think I was genuinely happy about it. And then when I shared the news with my mom to get her reaction, I think that kind of killed the initial joy that I had to be a mom. But it just taught me to go in overdrive. Um, it I was just ready. I was just ready to have him. He and me and his dad, we had a good relationship at the time. So it was kind of like a no brainer. Like, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna have a baby. And he will be turning
Well, you oh
16 um Tuesday. So I've done a great job with him.
all right. I mean, when it comes to teen pregnancies, usually it's like, I can't go to college and I got to drop out of high school, and there's all this negative ideas when it comes to teen pregnancy, and there's all this when we there's all these shows on like MTV and VH1 about teen pregnancy and having a baby at 16, and it's usually looked on very negatively, right? But you had a positive outlook, it sounds like.
I did. It just was like I said, it was a no brainer to me that I was gonna have a child. I did not think that life was gonna be hard. I just don't have that mindset. Like, I would never go into something thinking that, oh, it's gonna be hard, because why would I do it? So I he and thank God, because he was an easy child, and his grandmother, well, his great grandmother supported us. So having a home was not something that I had to worry about with him. At his infant age, I knew that we were, secure there. Just some of my needs were met, so I was able to focus on him. So but we will circle back. But being here in the present moment, knowing that I I always knew that when I did have him, that I didn't want my niece to be a teenage mom. I didn't want anyone who came after me to be a teenage mom. Only because you have time to be a mom. And when you do it so early, you're cutting, a part of your life off to be responsible for someone else. So I didn't want that for them. And so far, so good. So you see my BGC and the break background is just my Breaking Generational Curses course that I love to promote. And that was just one thing that I feel like I set in motion, just even a mindset to do to help out the women in my family that came after me to not continue that cycle.
Okay, so that's interesting you say that because you had your son and you were happy about that, but when it comes to your niece, you don't want her to do that. You don't want her to repeat that cycle. Can you explain that?
Yeah, because I know that it cuts a part of your life off. So my if my niece was to get pregnant at 18, I know that it's going to kind of put you in slow motion. You can reach your goals, you will reach your goals, you will do everything that you wanted to do pre-pregnancy, but it will slow you down. Now you have to think about daycare, then you have to think about how are you going to be 100% responsible for a child if the child's father is not present. It's solely on you. So while I'm happy because I just think that it was just um I guess just the thought of being a mom. I think that made me happy, but because it was railroaded so quickly, I could not even bask in that energy like I should have been able to. But I just felt like I had no worries. Like it would have been okay for me to do it, and it was okay for me to do it, and it has proven that it was okay for me to do it. However, I don't want anyone else to do it because it's like being Harriet Tubman, you know. You lead the people to freedom, but you want to get everybody out so you don't have to go get nobody out. And let's all learn from this and be greater.
All right. All right. I remember we talked about before that the way that you grew up with your mom, it taught you things of what not to do.
I mean, yeah, because there was no example. So you don't want to be a non-example. You want to be present. But I would say that I how did I learn how to be a mom? Um I just felt I'm going to say this. I learned how to be a mom from my dad. And in that sense, I mean doing things that he did, I did the things that he did. So the ways in which he was present in my life is the same ways in which I am present in my children's life. So from my dad would come to my school like every I don't know how often he would come, but he would come and maybe like read to us or something like that. And so that was a precedent in my own life. And so I would volunteer at my children's school. So much so that I ended up like getting a job. So now I'm going from work, I'm volunteering to working. And also having a job was something that my father always had. And so I knew that was something that I always needed to take care of my children. So, in a sense, like I said, my dad taught me how to be a mom. But because I did not have that window of growing from a teenager to a woman, I'm not, I wouldn't consider myself like, um, like a woman, a mother, like, like, how can I explain it? Because I have that masculine background of being a mom, I still carry that into being a mom today.
That's interesting. So the masculine part of being a mom. So what what is that exactly? So the masculine part of being a mom. So what's the feminine part of being a mom? And you didn't. So let's break that down. That's an interesting thing that you said. Masculine part of being a mom. What is that exactly?
Yeah, like I have a masculine way of being a mom because I'm doing what my dad did. So have so being nurturing as a mother, that's something that I feel like is a feminine energy. You have that nurturing energy, that come here, baby, let me rock you in my bosom energy. um Cooking family meals and you know having recipes and just having that big mama staple, I feel like is that feminine energy that I don't have. Um that I am growing into because it's something I realize I don't have, and I would like to be balanced in both of my energies when it comes to being a mother. Um yeah. So does that explain it a little bit more?
So the feminine part is the nurturing part, the being being in tune with your child's emotions, and then the masculine part is more of being a provider, like having a job and make sure there's make sure there's food on the table. That might actually be more of a feminine thing, but the masculine part is more like having a job and just being present.
Just being
Did I get
present,
that right?
like kind of in your own way, not doing like what the children would like to do. Because yeah, okay, dad, come to my school, but maybe I want you to come after school and you take me to the park. Something like that.
So like being would just being a disciplinarian fit into that masculine part?
I would say so, very much so. Very much.
Hmm. Okay. So now, so let's talk about your early years. So you have you have your son at 18. So let's look at like the first 3 years of your son's life, right? So you know you're you have a 3-year-old at 21 years old. So you know how are your parenting skills during the first 3 years of your son's life?
My son was really easy, and I had the support of his great grandmother. So we would, she would take him off my hands some weekends. So I was never overwhelmed. I feel like when you're not really a good parent, it's because you're overwhelmed. You might have like lots of anxiety or whole lots of stress that you're dealing with, the weight of the world on your shoulders. So it comes out in the way you treat your children. But with him, it was so easy. He was just and then he was so cute, he was eyes, you know. He was not a problem. The first 2 years, I tried to go back to school, but I did not. I stopped going to Morgan State. um I wasn't focused on that anymore. My family became my focus at that time. So that's what I was focused on. But within that first 3 years, he was what am I trying to say? He was preparing. I was preparing him to be a big brother because at 21 I was having my another child by um he was having a half brother. Let me say that. Um yeah. So in that but that transition went well too with him. So I was blessed. I was blessed with his family. They helped me. So that first 3 years was not like a drag, but it was, it was upsetting that me and his father had to break up. But you know, you keep it pushing. Well,
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like you, I know, like, what more can happen to me, but it sounds like things pretty much worked out for you. Like, all right. So you don't have the support of your mom, kicked you out. Where's your dad at this point?
where is my dad at this point? Um, he did our baby shower. He and his wife, his ex-wife, they hosted our baby shower. He was not. I do not remember the. Oh, I do remember. I do remember. Um, he just wanted my son's dad to step up.
Mm-hmm.
He was not. He made that known, but you know,
Step up how?
he just wanted to make sure that he was going to take care of his grandchild. He just wanted, he wanted that solid knowing that he would be there to take care of his grandchild. That's where he was, and that's where he stood pretty much. Yeah, but I mean, no type of frequent contact. And I laugh about that now because what more can happen to me is realizing that the life I was living was put on me by my parents. And some things I did unknowingly because they did it. And they never taught me not to do it. So it brings me here with 3 children, with 3 different families. My dad also reflects that 3 children, 3 different families, and so does my mom. So then I have to start looking at things like, wait, something isn't adding up here because if I could have chosen to write my life out a different way, I'm sure that is not something that I would have chosen for myself. So how do we begin to break these curses? And it is not easy to go against the grain and be something totally different than people see you as. So that's difficult.
So do you ever feel like you might repeat the sins of your parents?
Oh, I most definitely have. I most definitely have. And it's I've come to the conclusion it's because two people didn't come together to raise me. They came together to have me, but raising me was not something that they could do. Teaching me lessons was not something that they could do. Outlining or guiding my life in a way that would allow me to go around these type of obstacles and roadblocks, they weren't put, they I was not on that path. I wasn't put on that path by them. So because I wasn't, I'm just going to do what you guys have done until I can recognize, like, hey, you're repeating some cycles here and you need to stop.
So did you always know that you were repeating that cycle, or was it like an epiphany? Like, did it just come to you one day like, whoa, I find myself doing the same thing?
There are several epiphanies that I have had since, I mean, I would say like 2021, 2020, I guess. And I guess like in the spiritual community at that time, okay, I'm really gonna say something. Um so when COVID happened, um it was not just COVID happening. Um in a spiritual sense, everyone should have been coming to some enlightening, ascending, um having some enlightening and ascending contributions happen to them so that we can all grow. Um so when you look at you look at the definition of corona, it's like the gaseous layer over the sun. And so when you have something come out called the coronavirus, to me that sounds like, let's stop this. Well, I'm not gonna jump there. But to me that sounds connected in a way. And what does the sun have to do with this virus that we are all experiencing? They told us not to go outside. They told us to stay at home, and they told us to quarantine. Um, it was a level, and either you caught it or you didn't, and that's all I can say. There was levels, there was things happening, and either you caught it and you continued to go higher, or you didn't, and you see the effects of your living situation. I'm going to leave it there. But as for me, I caught it. Okay, I caught it. And so that caused me to ascend higher. And so what does that mean for me? So that's where you get into the what more can happen to me. What does that mean for me when you start to ascend and you go higher? Start looking at healing your inner child. So I started looking at this little girl who was raised by these two people who came here through these two people, and all the things that I have experienced and why certain things happened the way they did, and how are these things reflecting in my life today. Um it plays a part. So I began to heal my inner child. I began to meditate and align my chakras so that I'm healing the things that's going on inside of myself. I'm healing all that trauma that I went through, and I'm moving here and there, and I'm missing the absence of my mom, but I don't know exactly what that feels like. I don't know exactly how to communicate that. So I'm healing these things inside of me. And so it's making me have different experiences. And if anyone is familiar with tarot, it's making me have tower moments. It's making me have um it's making me have some rather realistic epiphanies, because um I'm going through a spiritual evolution. I'm changing. So if you think about the Hulk and how David Banner would turn into the Hulk, it's like there's something inside of you that you need to tame so that you can stay on this level of ascension and continuing to be a better person. And when you're writing affirmations and you're writing intentions and you have a candle lit and you have some tarot cards out and you are spiritually ascending and you're allowing these things to teach you lessons, you continue to grow. And when you continue to grow spiritually, you are not at the same real life level as those people who didn't who didn't who missed the ascension. You don't live at the same level as them. You might live in the same neighborhood, but you are totally different than that person next door.
Mm, that's awesome. You know, it's very enlightening what you just said there. So now, so do you think you've achieved that spiritual ascension? Are you done ascending? Are you complete?
No, I would never be complete. When I'm complete, eh, I'll be RIP. That's how I feel. But I feel like this is something that every day I can get better at it because it's like I haven't manifested my dream home yet. So I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So there's more things for me to have. There's more things for me to experience. It's more for me to live this life every day. So then boom, my kids now they are living this life with me too. Because this is something totally different for them. They don't know spiritual mom. Spiritual mom didn't even know herself. I had no idea, the things that I would be doing or saying or getting into. But I did reach a point where I knew that I was going to be kind of like rewarded. I knew I was going to be rewarded because I'm just getting so much better at being in the flow and staying in the flow. So when I get better at it, I know I'm gonna be rewarded. And so I just kept telling them, guys, I might run into $1 million one day, and I really want y'all to travel with me and be with me. So let's just stay on one accord because, of course, they're teenagers, so they're going through their emotions, and it's even better for me to be a spiritual mom while they go through their emotions because I respond differently. I'm going to respond differently. I'm going to react differently. I'm going to be solutions oriented. And, I'm just going to look for that next level of that next level of learning that they can apply to this, maybe to the situation. So it helps. I will and I went, like I said, I went to a meditation today, and like when people have a problem and someone says, well, you should meditate on it, it's like I don't some people don't resonate with that. And that's like, but that's where the answer, some of the answers to your problem lies in stillness. Some of the answer to your problem lies in quietness and solitude, so that you can give yourself time to you give yourself time to align. And then once you give yourself time to align, solutions with an S will come to you to try. The first thing you might do might not work. So then you try something else that was gifted to you in your thought process while you were meditating. During my meditation today with the Zentola, my flesh, myself, you know, I didn't feel like I got anything out of it. But at the end of my meditation, my higher self, I could feel the gratitude. I could feel the gratitude at the end of the meditation. So I know that my higher self needed it, not me in the flesh, but my higher self needed it. Me in the flesh will catch up with my higher self. It could be Tuesday. It could be Friday that I catch up with my higher self. It could be a week from now. But my higher self is working with me to continue to stay in this flow of alignment so that when things do happen to me, I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to worry or have anxiety about it. I can just pick up and be grateful for whatever happened and continue on the way that I'm supposed to. My steps are already ordered.
So it sounds like you have an idea of where you want to go in life. Am I getting that? Like you have an idea of where you want to go and how to get there.
I
Is that
do. I do. I mean, I'm sure we all have goals set. That's where we want to get to in life. But I feel like the only way for me to get there and to stay there is to live in this flow of alignment. That is what's going to get me to my goals. And even my goals that I think they are my goals today, they might change in a month because something could happen where, oh, I need to add, or I need to take away, or I need to keep doing this, or I don't want to do that anymore. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. So I do have an idea of where I want to go and how I want to grow. And if I stay in this flow of alignment, I know I'm going to get there.
so now where does your kids fit into that? Because you had the first one at 18, you had the second one at 22, and I think you had the third one at 30 or 29.
Yep, at 30. Like I said, they don't know spiritual mom. So the things that I'm doing is so weird. It is it is like, what is going on? It's not adding up, it's not making sense. So I only can I only can I can only communicate how happy I am. I can only communicate how happy I am and how I keep getting rewarded for my happiness. That's what they can understand right now. Um and how I left my job. I was teaching in the city and now I teach in the county. Like allowing them to see my transition and letting them know, hey, I have not been paid in like 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, but look at us. You still have lunch, like you didn't miss a haircut, like my car might be gone, but I've been getting back and forth to work every day. You've been, I'm I can only show them in that way, that then and they understand um in the tangible way with its things that they can touch.
So do you want them to have do you want your kids to do the same thing that you're doing? Do you want them to become spiritual people?
Of course, I would love for that to happen, but it's not up to me. That's not up to me to have them be that way. I can only introduce them and see if they like it. Okay. Can I have 1 second? I'm so sorry. I
Yeah, go ahead.
just came in. Please give me like 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Okay, let me so you guys don't see that. Yeah, so um you ready? Okay, we're waiting for her. All right, so while we are waiting for her, I hope you guys are paying attention to all that we are talking about. We are covering a lot of different ground here, and what, excuse me, what more can happen to me, you know? So when we think of that, we think about all the trials and tribulations. And I just saw her come back. All right, you ready?
Yes,
All
yes.
right. All right, go ahead. What you were saying?
Yeah, I do want them to be spiritual like me, but they have to find their own path. Um, like I know I'll pick up on things. I know my second son, he's really intuitive. But from a long time, I would always tell him the things you say determine your day. I would always tell him that because I noticed how he could will things toward himself. Even still now he does that. But he doesn't understand his power. So and as a 13-year-old kid, I don't know if he will understand it until he can start to see that, hey, like she was right. And whenever he gets that epiphany moment, that's when he can start on that same track. Um, my oldest son is, I mean, like he's always just been pretty laid back. He I think he is spiritual in his dreams, but he may not, like I say, he may not understand all of which is going on or even want to share. So that's another thing when you become spiritual. Um, you see and hear, and you have different experiences than other people just might not understand. So you have to find people who understand you and believe in your level of spirituality. And my daughter, because I am spiritual and she's so young, I feel like it'll be easier for her. um because this is something that she has seen all her life, and she knows about crystals and she loves crystals, and um just manifesting, she knows about that too in her own little way. So she knows about some things, and because I'm just gonna continue to grow in it, she'll know from a babe that this is kind of like how mommy was, so I can be like that too.
Awesome, awesome. We got a public comment here. I'm just gonna share that. Some encouragement. You go, girl. All right, there you go. You got some encouragement there. Oh,
Yes,
okay. It looks like you went out. Okay, there you are. Are you?
I'm here. Are you here?
You're with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Am I? Uh, you can. You're here. All right. You look frozen, but okay.
Oh,
Oh, why are we not hiding? Okay. I think you could still hear me.
I can.
Okay, great. We're not hiding. Yeah, I was just saying
I
you got some encouragement there. You go, girl. All right.
you. Uh-oh.
Okay. But looks like I'm back. Okay. All right. Um all right. So when it when it pe- I think when it comes to spirituality, religion, any kind of beliefs, I feel like people, I mean, yeah, your parents make you go through it, but it's a lot of it is why people, especially if you started young, but people turn to it because there's some kind of hole in their life, and they're looking to fill it, or they're looking for peace because there's a lot of chaos going on. So do you think that you turned to spirituality because your life was in chaos, because you were looking for peace, you were looking for solutions, you were looking to become whole?
You know what? I must say that no, was not looking for that, but that I got some of it because it's like there's an uprising that goes on in order for you to, clear out all the toxic stuff. But I have been going to church. I think when I turned 15, my sister introduced me to a church called Restoring Life International Church. And I think it was the name that got me. I think it was the name Restoring Life that really kind of hooked me. And then when she took me, the pastor, his name was Dr. Robinson. And so I'm like, okay, this is another connection. And then I started going without her. I started going without my family. I started going on my own. A teenager, like no teenagers just go to church. Like, so I think, I mean, I'm just gonna say God was always drawn to me. He was always drawn to me. And in that, I kind of sought maybe some comfort in that church. I definitely went there like off and on for 10 years. My children went there. They were in the little children church. Um, I was pregnant with my second son, going there. So, and then I was learning a lot. I was learning a lot. And then at one point, I remember the sermon started getting repetitive. And I was like, I know this already. I know this already. So I was like, it must be time for me to do something else. And I did not stay at that church. I mean, I left that church. I tried another one. Um, but it wasn't hitting. It wasn't hitting like the other church was hitting. So I could, I knew I wasn't gonna do 10 years with that church. And then what did I do? I think that I can, knowing a little bit of astrology, I'm gonna say that higher knowledge and religion kind of go hand in hand. um you know when you are into religion, it is like a higher knowledge. You are learning something about some people that you didn't know before, and then you want to apply that in your own life. So after going to church for 10 years, I actually did like start going back to school, basically seeking that higher knowledge. I went back to school, tried that for a little bit. um and just fed my mind in that way. Religion and spirituality is just a different way to feed my mind. um and I guess it's so that I don't seek comfort in outside things, so I don't seek comfort in in people who are not seeking comfort in me. So, you learn that then, but now through spirituality, I really see that now because I'm an adult and I'm choosing my own friends and choosing not to have certain friends, or choosing to interact with certain family in a different way. It's different now because I'm an adult versus when I was a child, into religion. Now that I'm adult, into spirituality, it's ringing some of the same bells, but it's grown me in a different way.
Hmm. So, so if all that you went through in your childhood never happened, right? If if your dad were more involved, if your mom was more involved, if she wasn't a drug addict, if your parents were in the same household, they were together, if um you weren't pregnant at 18, or if your life went a whole different direction, do you think you would be where you are now?
I'm not sure. I always look at my boys and say, I don't know where I would be without y'all, because like they were my motivation to stay on the straight and narrow. So without them, boy, I don't know. I I'm not sure. I'm sure that I'm okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm 35, and I am I am just getting closer and closer with God. Willingly. Okay, willingly. Because I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, if I had never went through all of those things, I would still be probably 35 and getting closer to God, but maybe it wouldn't be willingly. Maybe it would be forcefully, or maybe it would be through a trajectory of experiences that are hurting and hindering me. And I feel like that's my only option.
All right. So, the series of events that you went through, it sounds like it led you to this point. And it's, yeah, it sounds like it led you to this point.
Yeah, it has led me to this point in a sense that today I am accepting of everything that I went through, and I am more than willing to turn any negative into a positive. And so it just shows me that no, I don't have to be resilient, because I don't have to be dragged all the way down to zero and then spring up to 100. No, I can stay at 100, know that I'm going to have some ups and downs, but still be grateful and still just be in a flow and knowing that this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. It's happening for me, for my greater good.
There you go. And there you have it. All right. So I think we'll start to wind down at this point. So do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share? Any parting words you'd like to share with the audience?
Oh, so what I would say to everyone is that we all have a higher self, that it tugs at us. Sometimes it pulls on us. Sometimes it just taps us on the shoulder. But if you get in tune with that higher self, I'm sure you'll be living the life that you deserve.
There you have it. There you have it. All right, Takira, thank you so much for your words. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for your wisdom. This was definitely an awesome conversation. And it was an interesting direction we took it, but that's what Hot Topics is all about. All right, so let's jump ahead to your promo. All right, you guys. So Takira, she's on the web, you guys. She's on the web. She's on social media. You can she's accessible. So reach out to her. Check her out on her direct me. I'm not is that a website?
It is like
But
link.
Linktree, okay. It's like a collection of of multiple sites. But visit it anyway, right? So direct.me/moodyblue2. So and the number
Mhm.
two. So I reach out to her, learn about her services, learn more about her, everything that she has to offer. You could also check her out on Instagram and Twitter. Her Instagram handle is Moody Blue, the number two. So that's MOOD as well. It's the number one BLU_Robin. So it's scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now for my video people, but for my audio people, I did not forget about you. This stuff is in the description. So I encourage you to to follow her on Instagram, follow her on Twitter, check out her direct me page. So the link again is direct.me/MOODIEBLU and the number 2. So reach out to her on her page, check her out on Instagram, and check her out on Twitter. Takira, is there anything about your business you want to talk about?
Yes, I just want people to know that I can read your birth charts and I can help you break some of them generational curses in your family, some of the things that you don't want to continue on. I can also do a budget. I call it financial healing because I feel like once I touch everything I touch turns to like gold. So once I touch your money, like your credit score is probably gonna go up, and you'll be getting, you'll just be getting rewards. I just love the financial healing part. I actually did my budget today, and spiritual healing and astrology reading, birth charts. I did a plan for a mom and her 3 children, just how to just you know just it was just something for her. She was having trouble with them, so I helped her out with a plan, but it was via their birth charts. So yes, definitely hit up my direct me. You can schedule an appointment, um and I'm available. I am available and accessible.
All right. Excuse me. All right. So there you have it. So once again, I'll just share this information. This information is at your fingertips, but I'll just say the link again is direct.me/MOODIEBLU and the number 2. She's also on Instagram. The handle is MOODIEBLU2, and Twitter is the number 1 BLU_Robin. All right, Takira, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Now I can get out the hot seat.
Yes, yes, you can. I'm put you backstage now. All right. There you have it. Thank you for bearing with me. I know there was a lot of glitches going on, but thank you guys for bearing with me today. All right, so let me put up my banner. All right. So, you guys, we have made it to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear your feedback about the episodes. I feel like I got something in my eye. I would love to hear your feedback about the episode. So please drop a comment in the comment section or in the comment thread, whether you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or you're listening to this on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, however you are taking in this episode, please drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts about this episode today. Give us a rating as well for my Spotify's and my Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating as well. Let us know what you thought about this episode. We definitely will appreciate the feedback. And what was my thought? I had a thought. Just a reminder, this show is a production of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. It is our company. So if you are looking for a tutor, whether for yourself, because we do work with adults, or for children, if you need that extra academic help, if you need time management, test prep, one-on-one help, whatever that is, hit us up. Our website is www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. You can also find us on our multiple social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Check us all out. So hit us up on our multiple social media platforms. Follow us as well. And reach out to us again on our website. The website again, www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. And I also want to let you know that our podcast has a text list. I encourage you to hop on it. All you have to do is text the code Hot Topics to 917-764-3975. Again, the code is Hot Topics, and text that code to 917-764-3975. You will learn about all of our live episodes. We'll give you a schedule as when it's all happening live so you can watch live and interact. And when we drop our audio versions of the episode, you will be on top of that as well. So anything and everything that has to deal with hot topics, I encourage you to stay on top of that. So once again, just text the code Hot Topics to 917-764-3975. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. To I look forward to you returning to the next episode. Thank you guys again, and I am signing off now. Later, guys. Bye.